I mentioned bleeders on a video, well, on a post in the flint knapping forums. And what I'm going to do today, I have a shaft, and just for educational purposes, I'm going to show you how I do bleeders with stone points. Here's a nice little flint ridge point. Now, I did some pre-work because you don't need to see my drilling holes. Anybody can drill a hole. Now, this is bamboo, but it'll work with any shaft. You just have to figure it out for yourself. But I drill a hole back here for the main, for my arrowhead to fit into. I'll chip all this out and I'll make it shape so that my point will be straight. And then the next thing I do is I drill 2 holes right here, and I'll chip them out, and that'll make a mortise for my bleeders to fit into. And I'll show you how to do that. It's really a lot easier than you think. So, got my X-Acto knife. I'll start opening this up to get my point in there. The hole at the bottom makes your shaft less likely to split than if you split it, because you got a flat base there. And mostly my points, I didn't do it on this one because this is just for mainly about the bleeders. But see, I get 2 straight, then I try my point, and since my points are never perfect, like this one has a little hump right here, so I got to pick a side, and I'm going to look down it to see where it's going to be straight and start carving off of this side until I get it set, until I get it seated. Carve a little there. A little there. A little bit at a time. See, we're almost going straight in. This side is really flat, so I don't really have to do much on this side. But we're going to take a little bit so we don't have to carve the other side so flat so much. And then we got our hump side. And just like that, it fits in there. It's straight. I just got to get it straight this way. See there? That's how easy it is, to match your stuff up. Now, what I do next is I take the arrowhead back out. And I knock off this shoulder. So I don't have that flat. Put it back in. There we go. Now I use E6000 in black E6000 glue. Now there's some fiddling and stuff to get it straight, but for now we're just going to go with this. Okay. Now for our bleeders, we come in between and cut this notch out. Got a little notch. See a little mortise right there? We'll come to the other side. I have a little mortise right there. I leave a little bit of room in between so I can wrap if I have to. This is old Hami bamboo. The walls are really thick. It's straight. It doesn't split. I already shot this into the ground, shot it into a tree, missed a couple of shots this year so far, and it doesn't split. I just glue everything and call it. So now, what we got to do is we got to look for a flake that is in our pile of stuff that we took off of, that we worked working on a point. And we just take a little look. What I try to do is get a one that's really flat and sharp. Now I'm going to flake it a little bit, so it don't really matter if it's perfect. Okay, but we'll get one. I should have had a flake picked out for this. Okay. Now here's a piece of black chalk. It's really thin and straight. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pressure flake this down to where it will fit completely through the shaft. A lot of pressure flaking. Take our little pressure flaker and our little pad. See this thick? Get rid of that. Need to put my glasses on. So this is just everyday flint knapping. Now this is going to be our cutting edge, so I'm not going to do anything over there. I'm going to thin this down. And it's all a fitting game. Each one's different. I mean, unless you got a slab saw or a grinder and you want to grind perfect little bleeders to put in there. But what I like to have is the sharp single edge. For all you pressure flaking guys having troubles, if you look, when I pressure flake, here's my, got a big channel. I don't do it in the middle. I do it right on this channel, and I'm really only holding with this finger, and these fingers are just stopping it from sliding back. See that? Now, if we can get it to be thick enough to where it's a perfect match through the shaft, A flake that's thick enough in a perfect match, that's the best choice. See, we want to put that through there. Now this thing's already thin. I'm not trying to drive nothing. Just trying to get it down to shape. Did we fit yet? No. I mean, I could make the hole bigger and just slide that in there. But, you know, I don't want a bleeder this wide. I just want a little bleeder. And if you see, I'm keeping my base really steep because I want it to rest against the inside of the shaft. Almost there. I snapped it. Got in a big hurry. Let's see if we're still wide enough. Yeah. Let's start over. Here's a better one. Really thin. Just wide enough that we can shape it pretty quickly. If I'm not mistaken, I think this flake is raw Flint Ridge. See if it'll fit in. No. I might have made my holes too small. But we'll get there. Now you can do this with two flakes too. You can put a flake there and a flake here, especially on a solid shaft would be better than my bamboo is hollow, so I want to try and get a flake that goes completely across. Notice I'm being more careful. I don't want to break this one. I'm not going to glue this because this is just a raw shaft. I haven't finished it yet. Oh, I can't see. Now, there's some things to be aware of with the bleeders. They need to be really thin. Really thin and really sharp. And the purpose is, if you hit a bone or something, you don't want these to hang up. You want them to break away or to cut through. And the bleeder will help with your tracking because it'll cut the skin wider. See, there's my bleeder in. Now what I'll do is, since this is a square, see how this one's curved? That's the kind of flake I look for. And if this was a solid shaft, or if I filled it with epoxy or glue, I would use 2 halves of a flake, like that. But what I'll do is I'll take this flake back out, and I'll take this side that's square, and very carefully try and work it back, keeping it sharp. I might need my little spatulator. See, you can sharpen these just like anything. Okay, let's see how we fit. Push it in our slot. Be careful we don't cut ourselves. And there you go. Glue, glue it in, glue it in. That's actually a pretty badass looking point. I do say so myself. Now, bindings. This is what I got for some bindings. This is dog bane. Grows around my house. I keep it in the little stalks like this. I pick it the end of summer as soon as it gets its flowers. I don't take the parts with branches. So sometimes some might think that's a waste. But it peels into these little strips, and you can do like this. Peel the bark off. You don't have to use artificial sinew. And this is strong. This is strong stuff. Now I don't have any water in here. I would soak this for half a minute. This is a little thick. I'd split it again. See, you could just pull it there and split it. And get the fibers just like sinew. See that? Oh, sorry, didn't mean to give you a seizure there. Grab it here, pull it again, split it. You get these long wispy fibers. Now this has a lot of bark right there, so we'll just take that off. Okay, we got a nice clean fiber. You wet this just like you would do sinew. Put a little bit of hide glue on there, or in my case, Elmer's. Wrap it like such. I mean, obviously I didn't glue it. I'm just doing a kind of a fast demo of how I do it. And that's, there's your awesome arrowhead. With bleeders. And you really, with bamboo, you wedge that in there. You don't even really have to glue that. You gotta glue your point. You don't have to glue that bleeder. It's not going anywhere. Hope you like it.